Come on, YouTube. You can do it. It can work, maybe.
You're live.
All right.
We are live? Oh, yeah, there it goes. Now we're live. Yay, it's working. So, that's great. Oh, so, what time is it? Oh, look at that. We're actually kind of on time tonight, too. That's pretty good for us.
Yeah. So I got this. It's called Yamabond. Yamaha makes it like it's a sealant to go between those two cases, for my scooter engine, and it's called Yamabond. And Honda makes something that's like exactly the same thing. Guess what theirs is called?
Honda Bond?
Honda Bond. That's funny.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, man. So, those of you that are on right now, looks like we're up to 12 people. That's pretty cool.
Wow, that's quick.
Yeah, that's really quick. As you can see, I am not live in the studio today. I'm wearing my son's gaming headphones, and we're doing this from our basement, my my room downstairs. Because basically I'm not feeling well, and we're taking extra precautions to make sure I don't get my sister or my brother-in-law sick, so I'm at home. I don't think it's going to be COVID, just for everybody out there. But you never know, so here I am.
Mm-hmm. Here you go again on your own.
Here I go. I can't see. I want to get into that, but I don't think my voice would come out very well right now.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. So, I didn't want to miss a show, so we're here. We're gonna talk about what do you want to talk about, Will? There's some silly season stuff that happened today.
Yeah, there is. What happened today?
Like a whole bunch of Yokomo exits.
Yeah, like everybody I'm friends with on Facebook that drives Yokomo is just like, thanks, moving on.
Yeah. And
I don't know what's going on there.
Still nothing about Mayfield though.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll hear something, or who knows? Who knows what could happen? Maybe he'll be like their only team driver. Who knows?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a pretty good weekend of racing again. We didn't race Friday because it was Black Friday. So for the store, here in the final part of the fourth quarter, this is where we kind of need all hands on deck. So Friday, no racing, just open practice. Tons of people came in and used the track on Friday for bashing. It was so fun watching people down there. And the track held up really well. I was kind of worried. I worked on the oval a lot on Tuesday, and I was like, oh man, it's going to get messed up, and it was fine. And we had 93 entries on Saturday on the carpet, and then we had almost 80 entries on Sunday on the dirt oval.
Wow.
So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I got a text from my friend Brandon, and then I got a text from actually just a little while ago from Wade, telling me how they did.
That's right. Wade Garing's dipping into dirt oval.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
My dirt oval car is still sitting over there.
Yeah. So I'll start us off officially here. This is Alex Sturgeon with the Hobbytown HobbyPlex, and here doing the Hobbytown HobbyPlex show podcast for your enjoyment. I'm a little stuffy, so my my voice might be kind of weird today, but that's okay. I'm at home, chilling out. With me, as always, my good buddy and co-host,
Will Brenton.
And we're ready to do this tonight through thick and thin. Is that how they say that?
Yeah, it's thick, all right.
Yeah. As always, this show is brought to you by Pivot Lending. group. You can find them at pivotlending.com. If you're getting a home loan, refinance, something like that, and you mention our show, you can get a $500 lender credit or 0.125 off of your interest rate. And they've been with us now almost a full year. It's coming up, January. And with that, that's how we've been able to come to you weekly, because podcasting isn't exactly free. So at least to get the right equipment and studio time and all that other stuff. So
a podcast of this high quality does not come without a price tag.
Yeah. So make sure that you ask for Don Zoller, or if you feel like it, you can always ask for Aiden Olson's dad. And more than likely,
Aiden Olson's dad.
More than likely, he will direct you to Don Zoller either way. So
yeah, but you can just call and talk to him. He's a nice guy. Just ask for Aiden Olson's dad. BS a little bit before you talk to Don. It's cool.
Yeah.
He likes
As always, Super Chat is now live for the HobbyPlex show. So rules are, any questions that pop up on the feed here will get answered here towards the end of the show. But if you want to buy a question, we will stop everything we were doing and we will answer that question or topic. So
perfect.
Yeah.
So give us some money.
Yeah, it's a way to actually give you some value for what you're doing.
Yeah.
Hey, Will, when's your birthday?
What? August 18th.
Oh, so yours has already passed. Guess when my birthday is?
Today.
No, not yet. Thursday.
Oh, it's this week, isn't it? Thursday.
Yeah, it's Thursday.
I know it's the same day as Scott's.
Yeah, yep. Scott and I, well, I don't know how old Scott's going to be, but I'm going to be 42 years old.
Yeah.
So.
One foot in the grave, the other on a banana peel.
Oh, do you want to get into some RC news real quick?
Yeah, sure. Hey, you're exactly like 10 years older than I am, or nearly.
Yeah, just about.
Because I'm 31. Yeah, 31, and you're 41. Well, you were. Well, you are.
42.
But yeah, so 11, nearly 11. 10 and
so,
10 months. Or
so from December 3rd till December 3rd to April 11th, I'm 4 years younger than my wife.
Nice. I'm like 3 years younger than my wife.
From April through December, I'm 5 years younger.
Yeah. What is it like? Some say she's robbing the cradle, but I say I'm robbing the grave.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this thing on?
Oh, yeah. What's that from?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought it was from something. So did you see, just talk about the kind of going on? It's year 2 of a lot of guys' contracts. Did you see the Ryan Lutz thing?
Yeah, I had somewhat of a prediction that came true. What did I say? That it'd probably be a company like starting out.
Yeah.
That he'd be with. So
yeah,
that's cool.
So where's this at? WRC, and they're kind of like I guess like a European on-road that's now getting into 8 scale. And I looked at some of their cars. They have an F1 car, which kind of piqued my interest, and they've got a on-road car. They got a touring car.
Are these asphalt cars or carpet cars?
No, they look like carpet cars to me. But if it's European, I guess you never know. It could be either or.
Yeah.
So.
Because aren't they different cars?
Yes. Well, yeah. I like X-Ray's got a. Does X-Ray still do an asphalt car and a carpet car? I guess I never looked.
I mean, the grip's so high on carpet. I mean, I don't know.
They used to have like a US version and a Euro version. Euro version was the rubber tire asphalt car, and the US version was the carpet car.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like now that we all run rubber tire, you don't really see that as much, I don't think.
Yeah. Because a lot changed, like, with the geometry of the A-arms and everything with the tire that wide, I thought. Like, with foam.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting. I saw pictures of the car. I thought the car looked fine. you know,
Yeah.
looks like an 8 scale. It looks like an 8 scale. You know.
Yeah. I didn't look at it. I saw the picture of him holding it, and I was like, that's cool. Never heard of that.
Okay.
That's cool.
I think the big news from everything that I read the summary of his introduction to everything, is that they're going to try, at least for now, to not do the standard model of coming in and giving everybody and their mom the sponsorship
Mm-hmm.
to get the car out there. They're actually going to have like I think it said 1 or 2 influencers, and then they're going to try to get in through the hobby shops.
Nice.
So, I mean, I'd be interested to give it a go if I was guaranteed. I guess if I could find what sometimes needs to happen with us at the Plex is like if we don't sell it within a certain period of time, we need to be able to either send it back to you or have you give us some sort of rebate so we can discount it. You know?
Yeah.
So I mean,
like
I'd be all, I'd be all for bringing in a new product that's different and new.
Yeah.
There have to be some sort of understanding that we would need a little bit of help if it doesn't move. And
right.
I'm not going to say that this is on the same level, but like we've been burned before, and
I was just going to say, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Like, for instance, like Caster Racing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember back in, when did that car come out? Like 2008 or 9 or 10, something like that.
Yeah.
And we ordered some and nobody ever bought it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had to basically lose money on it just to sell it.
Yeah, I think Andy had a Caster car.
Yeah.
He got some somewhere, but yeah, I mean, that's happened to the Plex. I don't know how many times. Like new brand comes out, it's going to be the end all beat all. We're going to project all these sales. You're going to sell it, and then nobody buys it.
Yeah, I can list off a couple. O'Donnell, remember that car?
Yeah. Oh, I remember.
Yeah. Durango.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We had to fire sell those things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are 2 that come to mind right off the bat.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we have 2 super chats.
Oh, we got a super chat. Hang on.
How much are they for?
Hold on.
There's 3 of them now.
Jason Haley put in $1.49, and he said no question because there's a little birthday cake.
Oh.
Rod Case, who has a channel called RC Racing that he basically does a lot of RC videos from the Plex, but also from other tracks that he's been to. And he's got some other little bits in there, like him working on his car and trying to explain what he's doing and stuff. So you could, we'll give him a plug. Go to find RC Racing, and it's Rod Case Racing or RC Racing, and subscribe to his channel. He's trying to get up to that 1,000 level subscriber count.
Yeah, no, his videos are really good.
Yeah. I didn't do any videos from Saturday because I was not feeling very well towards the end of the day, and I honestly did not feel like holding up my phone to take the videos.
Yeah.
So I was just like, can't do it. So I let him do all of his, not let him, but I just relied on him for the videos and stuff. And then we got a super chat. Joel Florkey wants to know, is it possible to race RC cars for a living?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult.
There's guys that do it.
But there are
they drive more in a year than I probably have in my whole career.
Yeah. The RC, making money on the RC racing side of things, though, there's every team driver, even the lower percentage guys, have the possibility of earning money from their sponsor, but you have to get that position. So, for instance, like there's some races, like let's say you go to the Worlds, Off-Road Worlds, and you get 3rd place, and as long as you're running products from that company that you're sponsored by, your contingency money is not only for 3rd place, but also You can get an extra little bonus for the tires you run, for the speed controller you run, for the radio that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be up, depending on who it is and what their contract says. I mean, you could score a pretty good, couple $1,000s.
Yeah.
The problem is if you look at the results from the last 20 years, there's only a handful of guys who can do that consistently.
Yeah. Well, and it's like the guys that do it, I don't feel like they set out to be like a paid professional RC car driver. Like they just did it because they loved doing it, and it just happened,
Yeah. I can see that.
That's like if you're racing to try and be sponsored, or you're racing with the sole intention of wanting to be a paid driver,
you're just going to get pissed off and frustrated.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I would totally recommend, like, if you love doing this and you like doing it, just do it because you like doing it, and the other things will happen secondary.
Yes. And I don't know about you, but I know that from personal experience.
Yeah.
I almost quit way back in the day
mm-hmm.
because I was going to every race I possibly could and try and sorry, when I wouldn't get the results I wanted, I'd be very upset with myself. And then when I did get the results, but I didn't get anything from it, I felt like, what am I doing this for?
Yeah.
And I came back to it. This was in the early 2000s. I came back to it with a different mindset the second time around. And I just went out there to try and have some fun. And next thing you know, I was sponsored by Associated. So,
mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happened to me. I've never driven with the intention of trying to be sponsored or pick up a deal or, do whatever. It's always just, it's like when you worry, and I used to worry about my results, but it's just like it burns you out, and it actually you get worse results and you worry about the results. So just drive as hard as you can and, do it because you like doing it. Like, you're not there to please anybody, like if you are sponsored, as long as your stuff is, working good and your cars are well represented, you're a good guy at the track, what more could they ask for?
Yeah.
I mean, at least that's the way I look at it,
Yeah.
It's more just the mentality of doing it because you like doing it,
Yeah. That's kind of why I work at a hobby store.
Yeah.
I mean, if I hated RC cars or didn't enjoy when a new car or something new to the hobby came out and I happened to be the first one there at the store to see it,
mm-hmm.
what would I be working there for?
Right.
So, well, what do you think about this? Hopefully that answers your question, Joel. What do you think about the large-scale Yokomo USA exodus? What do you think that means?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it could either mean because Losi did that at one time. They cut way back on their race team.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, either something. Obviously, something's happening to the company. I mean, that was kind of obvious when they let Masami go. But I mean, it could mean a lot of things. And I don't want to speak, like I know or something like that.
Yeah, it's hard for me to speculate with
mm-hmm.
any true command on what's going on. I just, as an outsider, you've seen this from Tamiya and Kyosho and
mm-hmm.
now Yokomo.
Right.
Just makes you wonder, I guess.
Well, I hope everything works out for them and they're still a brand in some capacity. It would really suck if like all these people, like not even the people that are sponsored by them, but the people that bought those cars to race.
Yeah, big time. That would be brutal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had my Yokomo a couple years ago. Thought it was fine, and
yeah,
you know, I've been wanting a truck ever since I went to Hutch, and there was a guy there that had a Yokomo truck, and it looked phenomenal on the track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I was like, I want one of those, and then I never got around to it. Okay. Well, okay. Speaking of trucks, I saw this and I was like, huh? X-Ray is coming out with a short course truck.
Oh, really?
What the heck?
Hey. Huh. That's neat.
All I thought was,
this doesn't seem like something they would ever release. You know, like
yeah.
I mean, it's a class that gets raced, but like the pro drivers aren't really running short course anymore, so it just seems like it seems like a gap, like late to the boat, you know?
Right. That's what I thought. I'm like, why? I mean, it's kind of like what you said last week, how it's probably, if you have a truck already, it's probably one of the easiest things you could make extra.
Yeah.
But I just
unless they're thinking X-ray ready to runs. That's the only thing I could see it being, is like a ready to run platform.
Yeah.
You know, or like maybe they would use it to make RTR trucks, but because they don't really have one, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they were to come out with a ready to run vehicle, I guess short course would be your bag.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I almost looked at my watch to make sure we were in 2020.
Yeah.
You know?
But I mean, isn't X-Ray's like a company that isn't, they're like funded by the government somehow? And
oh, maybe.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Maybe they don't have to turn a profit on it, or like they just have to come out with something, you know?
Yeah.
I can't remember how that works. I'm sure somebody knows a lot better than I do, but yeah, I thought that's how they had that facility and were able to turn out cars every year or whatever they do for on-road. But
X-Rays made some weird stuff too. They a long time ago, didn't they have that little 18 scale nitro on-road car?
Yeah, I have the 18 scale electric car. It's upstairs. It's way upstairs and shoved in a box. But I have one of those. Yeah, it's the X-Ray M18.
Yeah.
Mine's all tricked out. I have the aluminum drive shafts and the hex wheels and all the stuff. And then there used to be this company called Penguin RC. They made like a really adjustable chassis. I bought that for it. Yeah, that car was like the HPI Micro RS4. That thing killed that car.
Yeah.
That like when that car came out, nobody raced the belt cars anymore. It was all shaft driven, 18 scale.
Yeah.
And then they had a stadium truck made off of that same platform, the M18T.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't have one of those. No, I did. I bought one off a guy at the Lincoln store, but my associated truck worked better, so I just ran that.
Do you remember the Kyosho Mini Infernos?
I do. Yeah.
Dude, those things were so awesome.
Yeah.
I almost bought one. So Tony oh God, what's his name?
Price?
Tony Price and Chuck, the dude who we named the John and Chuck rule after, the summer series. It's why there's only one car per class, or one car per person.
Oh, yeah, like when you win a kit?
Yeah, the first summer series we ever had, 2005, John, this enormous guy. He won a Revo and like an 8 scale, and then Chuck won like a T4 and a gas truck and then something else.
What?
And I was like, okay, well, that's the last time we're ever doing that. If you win a kit, that's it. I'm pulling your name out. So it's the John and Chuck rule. But Tony Price and Chuck, they both had this. They had this Kyosho Mini Inferno that was all decked out with all aluminum stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember going to Fort Dodge. Fort Dodge used to have a little dirt track back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I went up there maybe once or twice. And one of the times I went up there, they let me drive this thing on the track. And it did better lap times than like mod 4-wheel drive.
Really?
And I almost bought it. I should have bought it, but I almost bought it. They actually let me take it. And then after a while, I was like, man, what am I going to do with this thing here? Like, thinking about how much money I owed him, and I'm like, I'm going to give it back. So I gave it back to Tony. I said, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I really wanted it. That thing was so cool.
And that car came with the fake engine.
Yeah.
It, right?
Yep. Yeah,
and there was a guy, it might have been one of them. There was a guy that raced one when we raced on carpet at the Omaha track before we had the dirt outdoor track.
I bet you it was Chuck.
And super nice guy. I remember talking to him. And
well, you would remember Chuck because he had like he only had like one good hand. The other hand was small, kind of like Zeke Bellinger.
Oh, okay.
You would remember that.
I don't remember that, but I remember watching him drive it, and we had those same rumble strips that we have now, and like the RC18s, you'd have to like charge those and try to jump them, and you could clear them, but that car, you could just like the thing was like a Cadillac, just like driving a couch over those, just like wouldn't get upset at all.
Yeah, those things are so good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that about does it for that.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I don't think there was too much info. There's still no info on Ryan yet or anything like that, and I'm sure we'll find out as we get into next year.
Yeah.
I think this is the cycle though for sure. We're on that 2-year cycle where these guys' contracts are all up. And there's going to be some moves. I think the Proline Horizon thing is going to shake that up too, as well.
Oh, you think you're gonna have a lot of people leaving Proline, or do you think you're going to be picking up people?
I think a little bit of both. I bet you it's some people leaving because they don't want to have to drive a TLR, and I bet you there'll be some that will put the two together, and we might have some new TLR drivers next year.
You don't think that you'd have to run Proline tires if you ran TLR, do you?
I don't think so. I at least not yet. I don't think so.
I don't think that ever happened.
I haven't really talked to like Tom about it, who's sponsored by J Concepts, but I don't think they would do that part of it. Because for a little while there, you had to run Spectrum stuff. Yeah. And that was a big turnoff for me personally. So.
Yeah, I don't think they'd ever do that. I think that you'll probably see more Proline drivers, honestly. Because they probably have more. They probably have more means to sponsor people, you know. And I bet they probably still operate independently.
That's what it said. Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. Like having to run, it'll probably be one of those things that if you're a TLR driver, you probably get a better deal on Proline stuff.
Dude. I'd be pretty stoked, to be honest with you, if I didn't have a tire ride and I was a TLR guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was one of the cool things about being a TLR guy back in the day was you had access to all the low-C tires.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and that was one thing that I always thought was set up well, like with the Horizon sponsorship back then, or the Team Low-C sponsorship back then. It was like you could go to one place and get all your stuff. And, you know, Associated has that now, too. Like, literally... I can order a kit. I can get all the hop-up parts that I could ever want, and I can get everything but a receiver for my car. I can get a battery, I can get a speed control, I can get a servo, and build my car completely from one place. I mean, that's pretty awesome. And actually, I got my new servos. But
those are the high voltage. Those are the high voltage ones, the new ones.
Yeah, high voltage servo. They're pretty sweet. I put one in my 2-wheel already. This is the one for my 4-wheel.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all aluminum cased, and even the ears are aluminum, so they're pretty sweet.
Yep.
There it is.
Oop,
I don't know. Is it focused?
Yeah, I can see it.
So I mean, it looks really, the fit and finish is really nice on it, and it's a pretty high quality servo. I got it here in my 2-wheel. But yep, pretty good stuff. And then when I set my endpoints and everything, like literally the like from left to right balance was like within 1%. Like that was pretty sweet.
That is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. That's kind of what there is for news. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. The store. We got Mini Bees. We've had for a couple weeks now. That was one of the newer cars that had come out. We're waiting on the not the LST, but the Losi monster truck to actually come in stock. That'll be the next.
Oh, the big one.
Yeah, hopefully before Christmas.
That'd been cool if they called it the LST3.
Yeah. 4.
Oh, they had a 3?
Yeah, they had a 3.
Oh. Uh-huh. That's funny. All right.
Is it
4 or 5?
Is it LMT? I can't remember now. Is it LMT?
LST.
Yeah.
Well, there could have been an LMT. I don't
know. Trying to think here. Do you want to get into Do you want to get into race results?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Did you check on us this weekend at all?
Jackson told me how he did, and I looked at the results, and that was it.
Yeah.
So, now my wife asked me to take another sabbatical here due to COVID and stuff. So.
Right. Yeah.
I've been. I mean, I still work on my stuff here at home, but I've just been kind of because we had kind of a spike in cases, if you will, in the Nebraska area, and I don't know, better safe than sorry, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, we had so like I said, Friday we didn't race because it was Black Friday, and it's a good thing we didn't race because we were incredibly busy on Friday. It wasn't like an overwhelming busy, but it was steady all day long, and just lots of positivity about everything going on Friday. So it was nice to have it that way. Jackson Anderson and TJ Williams stayed Friday night to help me put the track up.
That's right.
So I was kind of afraid I was going to be the only one there, and but Jackson had texted me earlier if he could help, and I'm like, heck yeah, dude, get down here, because I can put up most of the track on my own. I just, when it comes to the really heavy stuff, it's nice to be it's nice to have it to have extra help. Oh, that's what I forgot. I forgot one thing, and it's going on right now. Before we get to race results, we got to step back a little bit. This could be in racing news. So today, cannot believe I almost forgot about this. Today, the Nebraska health measures were set to expire.
Oh, really? Okay.
And they did not. They got extended to December 31st.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So we had to once again offer online sign up. And it's limited to 75 people, or 75 pit spots, I guess, 75 households on the inside, and everybody gets an 8-foot table just like last time. So this time, though, what I did was found out after the press conference was over at like 11:30. I made the post around noon, and then instead of having it start basically right when I made the post, I made it so that it started at 7 o'clock, which is like 5 minutes ago. So I'll be curious to see when we're done with this, how that goes.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
hopefully it went okay. I'm always afraid of like a hiccup or something, but I think it figures itself out pretty well. I should probably check that right now while I'm looking at this. But it's just, unfortunately, the numbers are going down in Nebraska, but they're not going down fast enough, and so they just keep going.
Right.
And I think they're worried about, everybody that got together for the holidays, for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and that's probably like my wife's concern, like because you aren't like, I don't know, you don't really have the all clear for like 2 weeks. I mean, you could be a carrier or whatever. Yeah, I don't want to make this a thing, but
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're already up to 68 entries. So it took 5 minutes to almost be full. And
wow.
There's, it looks like, sorry, I'll have to go in and make sure that somebody didn't sign up twice, because that happened last time. A few guys signed up 2 times in a row, and that's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty fast. So looks like most of the same people as last time, so that's good. I felt bad for a couple people who kind of didn't get the memo last time.
Yeah. Right.
And but I mean, I can only do what I can do. I can, use Facebook and stuff to spread it out as much as I can. So.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's that. Maybe I'll have to make a adjustment or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, and like before, if you wanted to bring your trailer and fit out your trailer if you have one.
Yeah, I got one guy doing that. One guy doing that right now. So.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine too. It's actually supposed to be nice this weekend. I think the high on Saturday is supposed to be 49 again.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be too terrible.
Yeah, as far as 8-scale Winter Series goes, that's pretty great weather, especially for right now. But, it's always an option if you have that, you're able to. And actually, if you do have that capability, like your trailer to pit out of, that sort of thing, I mean, maybe try to pit that way, and then more people could pit in the pits that don't have that.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that would be cool, Yeah.
So
we could turn the parking lot into a shanty town,
Again. So I'm waiting now to I'm waiting to get some of the same instant messages I got from last time that, how come they can't come, and all this other stuff, and I don't know.
No, that's a bummer, but I mean, it is what it is,
Yeah. Hopefully there won't be too much of it.
Yeah.
It's just a weird year. So.
Yeah, this year definitely gets an asterisk for everything.
So, before we move on to these race results, just a heads up that as of right now, the J Concepts INS race that we're supposed to have in February is still on.
Mm-hmm.
So if December 31st, we're starting to get close to it. If they drop us down to 50%, or drop us up, I should say, if they move us up to 50% capacity, we can swing that.
Mm-hmm.
Because at our place, our capacity is 307. So half of that is 160 or so, just below 160.
Yeah.
And that's a 300 entry race. So we can easily limit, entries to say 140 people, and that gives us a little bit of extra leeway if we need it. I think that can still be done. I think if they keep us at 25%, that's where we're going to have to, reschedule.
Yeah.
So hopefully it doesn't come to that. But
yeah, hopefully we get through the new year and everything's just 2020's over with, and no more pandemic. Man, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, that'd be so awesome.
Mm-hmm. I'd be so happy.
I'd be so happy. I can't wait. I hope I get so I've asked for a couple of these t-shirts their South Park T-shirts. One's of Stan wearing a mask on. I just want my life back. So hopefully I get this for my birthday, and the next podcast I can wear them.
Yeah.
I'd like to wear that around town.
All I want for Christmas is scooter stuff, or money for scooter stuff. That was sweet.
Yeah.
I need to get a new exhaust pipe. I was watching the pipe I've been using is it's a gin and deli. I don't know, like it's an Italian pipe, and gin and deli. I can't remember the name of it. And I was watching this YouTube video. One of the places I order my parts from is Scooter Swap Shop, and they're in Portland. And they have a dyno, and they like did this thing where they like dynoed every single pipe with one bike, and they kept changing pipes and you know, like dynoing every pipe. The pipe that I have that came with my scooter when I got it is literally like one of the worst ones that you can. And I didn't think it was. It was like loud and whatever. I didn't think much of it, but I guess as far as a performance pipe goes, it's not very good.
It's funny.
But me not know, I don't know. Anyway, I was like laughing. I was like, I need a new pipe.
Let's go over Syndicate race results really quick.
Okay.
So we had 93 entries. We still had I think we only had 14 heats, so we really packed them in. The day went by. It didn't feel long at all. Our first A main was Mini T, because I had to move around some to get marshals all in the right spots.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, Derek Wood trounced everybody with his little mod mini, but it really is a fun race because I have a spot on the track where I let the stock ones cut, and Derek and whoever else is racing mod has to go all the way around. So it actually does make kind of an equal fun race with everybody else, and I've just been putting everybody together.
Dude, if I was running stock, I'd totally just like copy whatever Derek has on his car.
Yeah,
and do that, and then use that track cut to my advantage.
Yeah. So it's Derek and Caden Barrett, they're the only two modified mini Ts.
Mm-hmm.
And then in stock, it was Phil Palmer, who is so funny. He didn't even qualify. He just signed up and then ran the main. And then
that's awesome.
Yeah, and then it was Brian Keever and Easton Mosier. That rounded out the top three. So I thought that was pretty sweet. Jake Poteet was your TQ in stock, but he got walloped on out there. And then it was Cody Mosier, Drake Stadlander, who actually went up and bought a car after the first round and entered the second round.
That's what that class is all about.
Yeah, and then it was Carson Sanders rounding out the rest of it. So thought that was pretty great.
Yeah.
Let's see. Plex Spec, you had Daniel Bender getting a TQ and a win. He had to fight for it. There was a couple times where he was not in first. I think after lap 3, I think he dropped down a little bit and then came back up. Then you had Easton Mosier, who was driving fantastic. He's getting better and better every week. Camden Mosier finished 3rd. Eli Vanderbeek, the Vanderbeeks were there, finished 4th. Cody Mosier finished 5th. Elliot Delaire finished 6th. Carson Sanders was 7th. And Angie Vanderbeek, Mama Bear Vanderbeek, finished 8th.
Awesome.
Yeah. Let's see. So Stadium Truck. So this guy got another TQ and a win.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I think Caden Berding and Dayton Mosier were both faster than I was as far as lap times go. But I rewatched Rod Case's video, and they both kind of ruined each other on like the second lap. And because all I saw was I was being pressured early, and then like 2 laps later, all of a sudden I had like a straightaway lead, and I really didn't see what happened. So I went back and I saw it, and I'm like, oh, that's what happened. Jake Wiggs from the 5th qualifying spot finished 2nd.
That's cool.
I think that was his best finish of the day in the classes that he ran. Sorry. Dayton Mosier finished 3rd. Caden was right there behind him in 4th. Tyler Brinkerhoff was 5th. John Berding was 6th. Matt Mosier was 7th. And TJ Williams made the main on his own. He qualified 6th, but he finished 8th. But he made the main out of 14 trucks, so he's getting better.
That's pretty awesome.
He's got to control his. Every time I see him and he's doing good, he's got to control his car better. Like he's got to not overjump stuff and overshoot corners and steer hard into stuff. He's got to be smoother when he's doing good. Mm-hmm. Is what I see. So with that, I actually have my truck here. I'm starting to take all my electronics and stuff off of it because it's best 5 out of 8, and I've won every single round that I've raced in. So I have 3 drops to give. One of them I was in South Carolina, and then I got the other 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and not race it the rest of the year. I'm going to put this baby back on eBay and move on and see what else I can buy.
Your cars are like they're all like you have no attachment to them at all. They're just gone.
I have attachment to some things, but not like newer race cars.
Yeah.
You know? Expert was next. This one was a really good race. David Peevler was your TQ. Chance Rolk qualified 2nd. Chance Rolk won the race. David Peevler got 2nd, so they tied in points for the day. Mm-hmm. I think the points between those two are pretty close. Kenny Danley got 3rd in Expert. Caden Sanders was 4th. Caden was one of the bump ups from the B, and he finished 4th. In front of his dad, I might add. Mike Sanders finished 5th. Caden is a spitting image of his dad. So Caden's got kind of like this 80s, I don't want to call it a mullet, but he's got like this long hair 80s cut. And I was like, dude, like you look like your dad when I first met him at Marvel's Hobby back in like 1991. It's crazy. I feel like I told him, I said, I feel like I need to like trade a slot machine motor or something with you. It's crazy. So, here comes the messages. Anyways, Jake Wiggs finished 6th. Dayton Mosier 7th. John Berding was 8th. John Berding was 8th. So, moving on, you got Mod 2-Wheel. So, Ethan Delaire was your TQ on Saturday.
Nice.
And it was a legit TQ in front of Tom Rinderknecht. And if it wasn't for just one little bobble, kind of the same thing, Ethan kind of landed long. And landed long, didn't wreck, but he had to save it from, you know how your car kind of slap lands on carpet and you get, if you're not careful to roll. Well, he had to save it, and that's where Tom got by. And then he had a shot at him again, and they both kind of came side by side over the tabletop. And then some lap traffic was trying to get out of the way, and they kind of got tangled up a little bit. And Tom got back out in front, and that's kind of where he stayed. So Tom won, but Ethan got 2nd. They kind of tied in points again.
Yeah.
Drew Rubin King kind of climbed up. He qualified 4th, finished 3rd. He was having a pretty good battle with Caden Berding and Aiden Olson. Caden's had his best finish for a little while in mod. Remember the first week he got 3rd, and then he's kind of been in the back of the pack. Well, he had a shot at 3rd, but he didn't get it. He got 4th. Aiden Olson was 5th. Derek Wood bumped up from the B to get 6th. Mitchell Pavel bumped up from the B to get 7th, and Dayton Mosier finished 6th. 13.5 Wheeler. This one was a cluster at the start. So
it's like the 93 Worlds 2-wheel.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So Chance Roke was your TQ. He went long on the opening, the sweeper jump, and then he landed long. He went wide, flipped over. Maybe he didn't flip over. I don't think he flipped over, but he went long, had to save it. Same kind of situation as Ethan. David got underneath of him. They turned. Chance got back in line right behind him, and then ran right into the back of David. David flipped over, and then Chance waited. So both of them were taken way to the back of the pack, and then that put Tyler Brinkerhoff to the lead after all that, and he had some challenges. Chance finally got away and got back up there to second and had a shot at him a couple times, and Tyler held him off. I guess Chance showed me his tires. He said some of the glue, like his tires, were coming unglued in the race, so that made his car a little bit hard to drive, I bet. I imagine for sure. So Mike Sanders got second. Chance Rolk finished third. Nick Pavel. Then it was Corey Tannehill. David Peebler salvaged the 6th place. Then it was Poteet and Matt Mosier in 8th place. But that one was tough. That one was really tough. That's probably one of the rougher races we've had this year, you know. But that being said, Tyler Brinkerhoff drove a fantastic race. He got in the lead and just kind of made sure he didn't make any mistakes, and that's where he stayed. In independent buggy, Kenny Danley's car was on fire. He TQ'd and won. Jake Poteet got second. Joe Schnoes was third. Janet Peebler was fourth. Phil Palmer fifth. TJ Williams was sixth. Brian Damon was seventh. And Drake Statlander was eighth, and Josh Ryan finished ninth. The points in this one's going to be interesting because there's been winners all over the map in independent buggy.
Yeah,
and then
that's what it's all about, you know?
Yeah, yep. And then we finally had a mod 4-wheel drive class. Boy, Tom's car was legit. It broke the computer. Like I had to readjust the fast lap. So
what's the minimum lap time?
It was 12 seconds, and he did like an 11.9. And then just to put that in perspective, my fast lap in USGT so far on this track layout is an 11.3.
Yeah, without
jumps.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he was flying. He was going really fast.
That's what Tim said last year when I ran my 4-wheel, because my lap time was only like 0.3 faster than their lap times were on carpet.
Yeah,
and he thought it would have been a lot faster. And I was like, dude, you guys aren't running over jumps. Like I ran when I was working on my 4-wheel on carpet last year, because the loop was set up. I was like running like, I don't know, 10-second laps, 9-second laps.
Yeah,
like no issue. And but he thought, he's like, I thought it would have been a lot bigger difference. And he's laughing about it.
Yep. It was cool to see 4-wheel drive. We haven't had a 4-wheel drive class in a little while. It's just been a little while, you know.
Yeah.
Let's take a pivot lending break, and then we'll talk about Dirt Oval, and then we'll get into some questions if there are any on the. There's a couple questions on the chat that we'll get to. So if Richard's listening, we'll dive into to pivot lending, our sponsor.
Yeah.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Yeah. This is a pivot lending update with David Olson and Don Zoller. Get some.
Okay, this is David Olson with Pivot Lending, and I'm here with
Don Zoller,
also with Pivot Lending here in Omaha, and supports our Nebraska operations, Iowa operations. So with the tax law changes, I want to kind of get into writing off interest on your mortgage. I know for years and years and years that was appealing and probably had most folks gravitating towards a home purchase, was picking up the write-off on your Schedule A for the interest. In 2018, that changed to a higher general deduction. You can still write your interest off, but they took away the non-reimbursed business expense piece in the Schedule A. So it's tougher to, as a joint couple, and Stacy, my wife and I fall into this, without the non-reimbursed business expenses, we're better off taking the $24,400 as a joint couple. So we're no longer writing off our mortgage interest. So we're looking for ways to have the highest possible return on investment for somebody that's a homeowner or thinking about home owning. I know just kind of watching the market shift around with rates, 15-year rates being in the twos now, 26 years, I've never seen this. And I think besides your standard purchase transaction and your standard refinance transaction of just dropping a, potentially 30-year into another 30-year with a lower rate and throwing out the idea of writing off your mortgage interest because you're taking the standard deduction. Single is $18,350. Let's talk about a few benefits. So, and Don, I'll let you kind of kick off the possibility of somebody refinancing out of a higher termed note. So let's just say if you're on a 20, 25 year, 27, 30 year mortgage right now, is it possible to get down to that 15 range? And with the same payment, using that 2.75, 2875 interest rate.
Well, obviously, like you said, Dave, in the past, the idea was to keep that mortgage so that you have that interest write-off on your taxes, since that's not really applicable anymore for most people with the higher deductions. The idea now is to go ahead and get that mortgage paid off as quickly as possible so that you get to the point where you can retire and not have a house payment. Rates are ridiculously low right now. Obviously, if you're in a 30-year, you can a lot of times go to a 15-year right now, pay it off that much faster, and you're looking at pretty close to the same payment as you're paying right now on a 30-year.
Right.
So a lot of people in a 30-year are in the fours or high threes. You can get down in 2.5, 2.625 on a 15-year, and you're not really changing your payment a whole lot, but you're knocking about 15 years off the life of your loans.
And is it safe to say the higher the balance on the mortgage, the more sense it makes to even look at this, just because
Absolutely.
of the interest has such a larger impact? So for example, if you had a $50,000 mortgage or a $300,000 mortgage, you're going to see a significant advantage on that $300,000 just based on the amount you're paying on a monthly payment on that higher amount.
And if you don't think you can pull off the 15-year, you can drop to a 22. The 20 rates are great too. So.
Yeah, totally. So the play is to, for most of us, and not all of us, but most of us are taking the standard deduction now. There's the, single is 18,350 and joint is 24,400 in lieu of the interest write-off. So the idea is to try to get your loan down into that 15-year payoff range. Don can run any type or multiple scenarios for anybody that's listening. No obligation as far as credit pulls or application. Just give Don a call.
My phone number is 402-715-9082.
Those out there wanting to pay their mortgage off a little bit quicker, make sure you give Don a call, y'all.
David Olson, NMLS 16099. Don Zoller, NMLS 277589. Pivot Lending, NMLS 109995.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
So I'm just going over the 75 entries again, and I don't see anybody that signed up twice, so that's good. But I don't know. That was quick. I'm thankful that it filled up that quick, but at the same time, I'm just so pissed off that we have to do that. You know?
Right.
Bums me out.
Anytime you have to turn people away from the thing that they want to do.
I know.
It's not good.
It drives me nuts. Well, okay. Let's go over the Dirt Oval results real quick, and then we'll take some questions.
Yeah, open me up.
There's a few on there. So, Dirt Ovals, we had, we had almost 80 entries. It says here 75 entries on Dirt Oval, and that's really good. I think last round, we had 75 or 80, something like that.
Wow.
So this is the most Dirt Oval entries we've had in a long time, back to back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But in the past, it's been 60, maybe that tops. So
Yeah.
I did work on the track on Tuesday. I hooked up the box scraper to the oval.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I'd hook up the box scraper to the tractor. I wet the track down a lot, and then I took the box scraper to it while it was wet, so it didn't bust up the track in any way, and it just took anything that was not level right off the top.
That's pretty awesome. You skim it, you know?
Yep. Yeah, it worked really well. And I think you could see it. I didn't hear as many bodies popping like the late models. You know how sometimes the bodies will catch.
Yeah,
You know?
and they make a sound.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Any comments about the track or smoothness?
Yeah.
Or anything?
No. Yeah. I asked around. Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, the track's great today." So
That's good.
that was nice.
Yeah.
So 13.5 SC mod only had 4 entries. Chris Flower looks like he was a TQ and a win. Shaggy finished second.
Nice.
Yeah. Greg Hart was third, and Chris Zelazny, that's Trevor Zelazny's dad, the kid that works at the store with us and runs Fridays.
Yeah.
So that was nice. Moving on to Street Stock. There was 5 of them. And Dalton Hallbaker was TQ and a win. I think he won last time too. And then it was Brandon Crowell, John Peterson, Jared Tadlock, and Brian Hart. And move up to one of my favorite names for Dirt Oval, Mud Boss.
Yeah.
So these are basically like Traxxas Slashes converted to SC mods.
Okay.
And I think
like
very
modified.
modified,
a
yeah,
modified car. Okay.
Yeah, and you can't like put an LCG chassis or anything. And I think they have to run 12-turn motors, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, the Titan 12-turn, you mean?
Yeah. Yep.
That's pretty neat. That's cool.
Yeah.
That would be your entry level spec class then, huh?
You would hope so.
Yeah.
I think that Traxxas should come out with one of these personally.
Yeah, why not?
Could you imagine that?
Oh man,
They would sell buttloads of here in the Midwest.
At every Lucas Oil Dirt Oval race.
Yes, exactly.
You go to, it'd be a parking lot full of those.
Yeah.
Then really, they could do all kinds of other vehicles on that. You know, if they wanted to make bodies, I mean, that would be actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
So.
I hope I get the name right. Jim Langdo, Langdeaux, right?
Sure.
Langdo. I bet you it's Langdo.
I whatever you say.
Yeah. Matt Solberg finished second. Carter Langdo was third. Paul Bowden was fourth. John Peterson fifth. Rod Clark was sixth. Trevor Langdo. So there's 3 Langdos in here.
Mm-hmm.
Was seventh, and Caleb Woodward was eighth. And I'm curious to see. Yeah, there was a B main.
Caleb Woodard's racing?
Looks like it, yeah.
Huh. I used to race go-karts, or I think they still do. His dad, Ralph, he was really good.
Nice.
Go-kart driver. Anyway.
Looks like there was, if you take the 2 bump ups, so there would have been 14 mud bosses.
Nice.
Yeah. Then you got the 410 sprints. These are the fast guys. So Craig Moline was a TQ and a win. Brandon Heitschuh was second. Wade Gehring from the 7th qualifying spot finished third. Our guy, Wade Gehring from the off-road side of things. That's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, Bob Hamilton from the 8th spot finishing 4th.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is 410 sprint.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Brian Erb finished 5th. Darren Ryder finished 6th. Brad Van Wielden finished 7th, and Josh Corzetti, I think is how you pronounce that. Looks like he only did 1 lap. He finished 8th. I mean, honestly, Craig Moline usually wins 410 sprint.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Brandon Heitschuh usually is right there with him. So.
Oh, Brandon's the man, dude.
Yeah, Brandon's really fast.
I grew up watching his dad race sprint cars. His dad Keith. So locally, the track Eagle Raceway is where a lot of the sprint car racing is done around here.
Yeah.
His dad Keith actually won the very first race at Eagle Raceway. But yeah, Brandon's a good guy. I've known Brandon for a long time.
So SC modified. So I believe these guys all wanted to run actual modified motors instead of 13.5.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been a kind of a shift away from 13.5 to mod. Chris Flower qualified second, finished first.
Mm-hmm.
Then it just says Taco finished second. So I'm not really sure who that is.
Tacos for the win.
Tacos, yeah. You think if they raced on Tuesdays, he'd be like, "It's Taco Tuesday."
Yeah, that'd be sweet, man. That's a pretty good nickname.
Yeah. Third was Jim Langdo. Paul Bowden finished fourth. Carter Langdow finished fifth. Tony Nierig finished sixth. Looks like Bryson Ramey was your TQ, but he busted out at 25 laps. And then Brian Damewood finished eighth. Damewood and Ramey and Phil Palmer, some of those guys that they run carpet and then they run dirt oval the next day.
Yeah, that's cool.
Looks like late model had a full heat. Brandon Heitschuh took that one.
Yeah.
Brad Van Wielden was your TQ, finished second. John Kinzer was third. Darren Ryder was fourth. Craig Moline qualified fifth, finished fifth. Kelly Beller finished sixth. Dalton Hallbaker finished seventh, and Josh Corsetti finished eighth. It looks like there was a lead switch right smack dab in the middle of the race between Brad and Brandon. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
B-mods, so these are basically two-wheel drive buggies converted to a modified. God, I hope I don't kill this name. Tim Mikatich was your TQ and winner. Dalton Hallbreaker was second. Phil Palmer was third. Wyatt Sprague was fourth. And Rod Clark was fifth. And then finally, 360 Sprint. This is usually the class that has the most entries for Sprint car. So he likes to run them last. Craig Moline, TQ and win.
So
right.
what's the 410 Sprint cars? Those are open mod. So that'd be like your World Outlaws, like 410, whatever.
Yeah.
So
open
360.
Open mod, open tire.
Okay. What's 360 then?
360, they have to run 13.5s and they have to run a spec tire. This year it's the Proline.
Looks like a Hoosier tire.
Yeah, Hoosier thing. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Let's see. So Wade Gehring got another third place.
Nice.
Rod Johnson finished fourth. Brock Mikatich finished fifth. Derek Sprague was sixth. Phil Palmer was seventh. Brandon Crowell was eighth. So
Wade's doing good. Miller Light car. He's running.
I mean,
that's his paint scheme.
Wade's a good driver, though. He should do good.
Yeah. No, I mean, just to show up and drive and be able to race with those guys, your first time running on a prepared track with your dirt oval car. Because, I mean, the setup on oval is, what can make or break you. It's kind of like any one of those guys in the top, for really anybody in the main, I feel like could win.
Yeah.
It's just getting the setup right and the tires right, so...
All right, so there's our race results from the weekend. You want to get into a couple questions that are here on YouTube?
Oh, I do.
Mad Thunder 2. We're gonna go all the way back up to like 6:30.
Mad Thunder
2. What's your guys' opinion on micro RC racing?
I think it's great. I used to do it.
Yeah,
that used to be my Woodstock, man. I was all about 18 scale.
Doesn't Lincoln still do that? Are they still? Not right now, I don't think. But
not right now. But yeah, they still have the same track that we used to set up. 2006, I think, is when they started doing that back there. Maybe even before then. We were running mini Z's on it, and they still have that same track. It's the RCP track that goes up like a foam puzzle.
Yep.
And they race 18 scale cars on it, and they actually alternate weeks, so they go on road or like road course with some jumps on it one week, and then they race oval the next week. And I think the oval 18 scale racing is primarily those RC1 cars.
Yeah,
but it's pretty neat.
When I went to China, they had a little like vendors row set up, and there was one of them there that had a bunch of mini Zs that were all decked. They were all decked out with like the best tires and option parts and stuff. And the guy handed me like an M12, and
there's my 18 scale car.
Yeah,
I still have it. It's all tricked out. But anyway, what were you saying? They had a
I would like to race mini Zs. I think that'd be fun.
Oh, I do too. I had an F1 Mini Z with like the traction control diff and like all the cool stuff. And when you weren't able to get stuff from Tower Hobbies from Kyosho anymore, it's kind of what killed it around here. But now it's a little different. But yeah, I mean, I love 18 scale racing. This is my 18 scale car. It's an RC18R, baby. The same one I've had for, that car is probably 14 years old, maybe older.
Mad Thunder 2, another question. Slipper clutch versus direct drive in stock class. Which do you prefer?
Never driven. I don't think I've ever driven a stock car with a direct drive. I know a lot of people do it.
This truck was direct drive today, or since I've owned it. And I thought it was going to be a detriment on carpet, and it definitely wasn't. So I can see, because I normally don't race stock. You and I both don't really race stock that much. But when I used to set up Emerson's car, we definitely had no slipper for his 17.5 car, and he seemed to do really well with that. I think it's just a matter of rotating mass and weight, right?
No idea. I would think so. I would be inclined to weigh the hub versus the slipper assembly to see how much lighter one is. But I think it's more just the direct power. But
yeah,
I think you have to drive the cars a little different with the direct drive, but it probably makes your diff setup and stuff like that a lot more critical if you're running ball diff.
Yes.
You probably bark the ever-living junk out of that thing by not having your diff set up correctly, even with the 17.5. So
I think I've always set up Emerson's cars direct drive, almost just because of a formality. He was racing stock, so that's what we did.
Yeah.
You know? And like I said, this truck is direct drive when I got it, and it was the Exotech one, and I didn't really want to go and get a different top shaft and all that other stuff, so I just drove it. I loved it, especially on carpet.
The V6.1 light car came with the slipper eliminator, right?
Yeah.
Yep, there's your answer. They put it in the box. You probably need it. You probably would want to drive it.
Yep. Okay, so Demonic Wolf 69 wants to know if if Jackson gave you his tire sauce he found.
Oh, no, he sent me a picture of it and he wouldn't tell me who gave it to him, and it's like, all right.
You haven't been up there.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I haven't raced at the Plex since I got back from Kansas City a few weeks ago. Yeah. It's just I haven't like quit or anything. I just kind of taken a step back here, and I'll probably start racing on Fridays again, because I've been racing on Fridays. You know, I raced that one Saturday on carpet, but I've been racing on Friday nights and staying on dirt. And I'll probably another week or so I'll be back up on Fridays. It's not a big deal. So,
another question from Mad Thunder too, but I'm gonna modify it. Do you miss making your own tire sauce?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
You don't miss me doing it?
No, I miss I don't miss worrying about whether or not we have any.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like I was so hooked on that stuff that after a while you're like, crap, do we even have any? And then then sometimes we wouldn't have any, and I'd be like, what do I do?
Well, my thing is like, you'd have guys that use it, and you'd give them a bottle to try, or a couple guys who want to try it. You'd split a bottle between the two of them.
Yeah.
They'd use it up, tell you how great it was, and then they wouldn't buy it. They just go back to Liquid Wrench or PB Blaster or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my thing. It was like, well, like if that's what they want to use, it's not like I felt taken advantage of or anything, but it just kind of sucked. Like everybody tell you how great it was, then you go over, they're using something else or using Liquid Wrench, and it's like, well, okay. And it just kind of burned me out on it. So that's about it. I mean, no, I don't miss it, not at all, really. Yeah. I mean, that's all I'm gonna say about it. So.
Well, I know the answer to this one for both of us. Mod versus stock. What do you prefer driving more?
Oh, modified.
Yeah, mod all day for me. Stock has its place, but I prefer to have that extra power when I want it and need it. Not be so reliant on. I don't know.
I'm not very good at driving a stock car, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think I would be as fast with a stock car. I don't know if I could hang with these guys that race stock all the time. And it was like, because I'm used to just backing my two-wheel into a corner and like ripping out of it, and being smoother with the throttle. And if I raced stock and that was my wood stock and that's what I liked running, I'd probably be better at it. But I drive it and I'm like, man, I kind of I like having the crazy power and, have like going fast. Like, and to me, like when I was growing up, it was like stock was, you wanted to graduate from stock. You didn't want to make a career out of stock racing. So, and it's fine for people that like doing it. I'm not knocking it or anything. It just isn't my thing. And, I enjoy racing modified a lot more. It just seems to me, and both are, take different skill levels, and both are like a driver's class in their own right, but I don't want to have to worry about having power, the newest motor or whatever it is this time, and or battery stuff. I want to be able to charge my car and go drive it, and power's not an issue. Even when I race dirt oval like go-karts, my favorite classes were the open classes or the no rules classes, because you had more power and you know what to do with, and it was more about driving rather than working on making sure you had a good thing, or good power and maintenance and blah blah. But
I don't miss racing stock for several reasons. One is I don't have to worry about the motor of the week or whatever. I don't have to worry about overcharging my batteries to keep up, or having new batteries all the time. And I'm doing this a lot more now for the fun of it instead of the pure competition side of it. And so I like being able to clear stuff. If there's a triple on the track, I want to jump it,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just, that's for me, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And there's some stock cars that I've driven. And it's like, dude, this thing's actually kind of quick,
Yeah.
But it's like it's still just, this isn't that grunt power that you have like on the bottom end, you know. Just I don't know. It just isn't my thing. Maybe it will be someday. I don't know. Maybe who knows? 3 years from now, and be like, man, I love stock racing, but right now, it's just modified's what I like.
We got a couple good questions on the chat that I want to get to here. I might skip one or two of them, but we got one from Jason Haley earlier in the day. And did you ever watch the JQ Club Racing video at all?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, I did, and he had started to mention how he would like to see club racing in general change. So he talked about how, like in Southern California right now, at several of their tracks, they've eliminated a whole bunch of these extra classes that we were talking about last week, and they just have 8-scale buggy, 8-scale truggy, right? And then when your B main is your intermediate, or your expert, and your C main is your intermediate, and that's just where you end up. But then he also talked about possibly like breaking up the day into different segments, to make racing shorter, like how racing can get too long, and so the Haley posted this. Any thoughts about breaking the big races? Oh, the big races into blocks, like one being stock, including Plex Spec, and the other block being mod. So I missed the big race part because I had an answer all ready to go for this. But so Hutchinson used to do that. The Fall Classic used to be stock on Saturday, mod on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good in some ways because somebody like me who was back then racing stock and not really racing mod that much, I would go down there and I would end up racing both because I could. I would just at night I would change my motor over to mod.
Mm-hmm.
But in the other downside of that though is it made it so that some guys that shouldn't be racing stock ended up racing stock because it was on the first day and the mod guys raced. The mod was on the second day, so you had all these guys that would show up and race both.
Yeah.
And I think that they got away from that down there when different ownership took over to begin with. It was nice to have a race set up that way, but at the same time, the big race formula that we have, we kind of know what we're in for, right? When we go.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool to have, a stock race here, and then right after it be a mod race, and then right after it be a stock race, and then right after that be a mod race. So you have this real separation between the two, and then the other two get to watch each other as well.
Yeah. Right. See, like, I think that's a good idea, but or to separate it. But the thing is you aren't going to have a separation, like you were saying. You're like the guys that are going to, you aren't going to have, you're going to have more people race both. Like, because I would, if there's all right, stock's on Saturday and modified's on Sunday, I'd race stock. I would.
Yeah, no doubt.
I wouldn't just show up on Sunday because that's track time you're losing out on, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I'd definitely be racing stock on Saturday.
Yeah.
But maybe if they had it, well, if you race modified, you can't race stock, and if you can't, vice versa. But then there's other guys that they race both. They race both modified and stock.
Yeah.
So it's never going to be perfect, but anyway.
Right. Yeah, we could talk. I mean, maybe we can discuss it later and all that. But right now, I don't see myself making a change. Things are going so well right now. I don't feel like messing with our formula that we have.
Nah.
We got a super chat from Peter Renault.
Thanks, Peter.
The J Concept swings that came with his S2 B74 body have rows of dots inside the back channel. Do we drill those? And what size? And I think I know what he's talking about. And I would say shouldn't have to drill them, right?
Well, you can if you want. Like if you look at the the carpet race photos and stuff of Paul Wynn's car, he has that wing on the back of his car, and they have some holes drilled or with a reamer right here. I don't know how many of them. That's something I actually used to do for smaller tracks. Like I remember we'd go to trackside or something. I'd put a hole here and I'd put a hole here just to try and get my car to release the corner a little easier in the infield. But I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like, it's not something that's like a set thing. Like you aren't just gonna, okay, this is the wing I'm running. I better put 3/4 inch holes in my wing all the way across it. It's more of like a tuning option because you might not. Maybe you'll do fewer or do fewer larger holes. Maybe you want to try more smaller holes and see if you like that feeling different. Usually, like a bigger track like ours, you aren't going to want to put too many holes in it. Usually, you just kind of cut the wicker down, a little lower, or run a smaller wing or something like that. I really don't get into the holes a whole lot, and maybe on high grip, I would, but usually I just change my wing.
It's just for like when I feel like I need just a tad bit of steering, I'll cut the wicker bill down a little bit in the back. Is it kind of trying to achieve the same result?
Yeah, I would think so. But this is probably like trying to do the same thing but different. Like it probably actually increases high speed steering, if I had to guess. So it's probably letting air through the wing, but still like keeping some of the downforce. It's probably just another thing that you could try. Because I have like my wings. Like when I went to Kansas City last time, I actually tried I think 3 different wings, and I ended up. This is like the carpet arrow wing, I think is what this one's called. The one with the lines in it here. That's what I ended up on for the smaller track, and that's like a 6.5-inch wing. Yeah. But I started with a 7-inch wing, and I take my wings and I'll have like 3 of the same wing, all just cut out different, or maybe the holes moved or something like that. And on my carpet car, I have it marked with like 4 millimeters written on the wing, so I know it's moved 4 millimeters forward. Right. But yeah, I'm pretty particular about my wings. So it's really just something you have to try and see what you think works best, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to skip over a couple of these questions. I'm really sorry if I'm skipping yours. Maybe we can try again next week, but we're kind of running out of time. We got one more that I want to answer. Brian P., looking to buy my first crawler kit. Which one do you suggest? RTR and kit? I wanted to answer this one because I know this one.
Yeah. Sure.
So if you're looking at a ready to run, you can't go wrong with any of the big 3, right? So Element RC, Enduro, whichever one you choose. The Sendero's a really good base truck. The Enduro Builder's Kit is fantastic. The cool thing about that truck, and then the next one is an Axial, an SCX-10-2 Builder's Kit, or any of the bodies that they have out there remaining that you can find in stock. You can't go wrong with any of those. And those 2, what's really awesome is most of the hop-ups made for those work with each other. They're so similar that you could get, say, a bottom skid for an SCX-10-2, and it'll work on an Enduro, and vice versa. So I'd say one of those 2, or the Traxxas, the TRX-4. Again, any of the bodies that they have, if you want to spend that money for $479 for the ready to run like Bronco or Blazer, those are great. And they have the Builder's Kit that you can get too, and the TRX-4 is pretty awesome. The Portals definitely give it a slight advantage when it comes to getting over a lot of the riffraff type rock and stuff like that. So I can't narrow it down to just one for you because it's hard to. But I would say if you stick with the big 3 is what I call them now, the Team Associated Element RC, the Axial SCX-10-2, or the TRX-4 from Traxxas, you'll be happy with any of them. It's just a matter of if you want to get one with a body, or you want to build it yourself and get your own body. It's all going to be fun. There's so much stuff you can do with them. So, okay, with that, we're going to cut it short because we're already, I think we're at 1.5 hours. So
okay.
Are
there any other good questions?
Well, yeah. I'm looking. Paul Rideau just gave us a thank you super chat, so that's awesome.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for that.
For $2. So
$2. Hey, how many dollars am I getting?
I bet you that we're splitting. I bet you we're at $10 a piece right now between the last 3 weeks.
Okay. Today's was $7.97.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we're there. We're getting up there.
This is way more. I should get way more than that.
Well, no. What would we get? I don't know.
Probably at least like $16.50 a piece.
Let's see. No, that's about it. There's a couple, okay. But we can talk about them next week too if we need to. I want to touch up on Jason Haley's idea about splitting up the race days. We'll talk about it more next week when we have time.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, so that's it for now. This was Alex Sturgeon with the Hobbytown HobbyPlex and Will Brenton also with the Hobbytown HobbyPlex. He's a top level racer that we have, and we're getting done with our HobbyPlex Show podcast. As always, brought to you by Pivot Lending Group. You can find it at pivotlending.com. If you get them for a home loan or a refinance, and mention us. Yep, $500 lender credit or 0.125 off your rate. You get to choose one or the other, and it'll be awesome. So
I'd
they've
choose
been our
that
sponsor.
0.125 if it were me. But
yeah, for the long term, you bet. So okay, yeah, that's it. We're gonna sign off. You guys on YouTube are always awesome. Thanks for tuning in. All you new listeners that are on there, I really appreciate you checking in on us. I think at one point we had up to like 25 people this time. So
what? That's insane.
Yeah, so we're getting good. And all you guys with the super chats, that's great. You guys are awesome. So
yeah, keep super chatting me up.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. That's it. I'm gonna take off now. I'm gonna go suck on some more throat lozenges and go to bed.
Yeah, draw a nice hot bath.
Yeah, that too.
Take a
All
bath.
right.
It's weird. Who takes a bath? Anyway.
I don't think I'd fit in the tub.
No. Sometimes I get really sick. I take a bath. It's more just being in the hot water.
Yeah.
I just need a hot tub.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I could put in the other corner down here as a hot tub. Would you come hot tub with me, Alex? In my it could be RC car room, scooter workshop, and hot tub.
Yeah.
Time machine.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Okay. Bye, guys.
See you guys. Thanks.